Don't ever underestimate what you can do with just a few kind words. It's a shame to miss it. You're missing a really big prize in life if you just walk by and you don't bother.
Welcome to I Share Hope, the podcast where world leaders share their real stories of hope and how you can use actionable hope to start changing your life today. And now, here's your host, Chris Williams.
Hey, this is Chris Williams with I Share Hope. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Good. Is this Robert Williams?
Yes, it is.
Fantastic. Man, I got a picture on my screen of you, and you're wearing a hard hat and a smiley face stuck to that, and some killer glasses. Is that the right guy?
Well, it could be a lot of people that, because most of the crew wear the same outfits.
It's so fun.
I got a red hat on.
And I've looked at your website, and you've got letters and notes from all kind of people, like even David Cameron, Prime Minister. Yeah, Prime Minister. I mean, it's just amazing.
Prime Minister,
yeah.
Well, it's fascinating. We don't try and get their attention either. It's quite funny that they have noticed what we're doing. We're quite pleased. But when we first got the call from Downing Street, it was we thought it was a joke.
I bet. So you guys are having so much fun. Tell me a little bit, and let me just give you a little background of what we're doing first. We're interviewing 1,000 people around the world, a true cross-section of world population, about the subject of hope and what they're doing in the world about hope and kind of how they work in that realm. So obviously you and your crew and your thousands of volunteers are just knocking it out of the ballpark, bringing hope to people. But give me a little about you first. Where are you at right now? Apart from just your daily work, what are you doing? Like, where are you sitting right now? What's up today?
Well, I've been calling various media outlets, all the newspapers, all radio stations, TV stations this morning, to let them know about an event that's happening on the 10th of December. We're doing a big wrapping of presents for children all across London who would not normally get much or anything for Christmas at all. And we get a lot of coverage from the media. They like what we do. So it's letting them know what's happening. We've got a crew coming in from London Live that are going to be reporting live from the scene, which will be really fun. They'll be cutting off to, and we're back and we've wrapped a few more presents, sort of thing. We've got our double-decker bus being ready to deliver some of these presents. To some kids, it is literally Santa's sleigh, this bus, when it pulls up. I don't know if you've seen pictures of it. But
I have. It's awesome looking. It's
a 1965 Routemaster, aluminium body, doesn't rust, runs as well as it did when we first got it. And one of our members got funding for it, actually, to run on veg oil next year. So it's going to be completely renewable energy.
No way. That's cool.
With a 1965 bus, yeah. It's great. Actually, the renewable energy using veg oil is better with older engines. And we've also found a new older engine for it to put in, which is almost twice as powerful.
Wow.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun with it. Kids enjoy the ride. The wrapping of presents, several hundred people will come out. And we've been given such a big space that if you stand at one end, it's a quarter mile to get to the other end. It covers a whole city block. And, we're having to decorate all that now. And part of the crew that I'm going to be heading off to after I've spoken to you are putting up black material on the ceiling to give it more of a spacious look. Okay. So I'm told, anyway, I'm going to get to see it in a bit. They've been working on that since 8 o'clock this morning.
Fun.
And it's very exciting. There are a lot of people chipping in their talents, a lot of people coming in, wrapping presents and, making it very special. A lot of them doing it because they feel it's, a nice thing to do. The thing runs on volunteers and goodwill. So it's a wonderful thing to see.
Volunteers, goodwill, and now vegetable oil.
Well, the vegetable oil is kind of a neat thing.
That's cool.
It's one of those things that it makes it less desperate that we're running out of oil. And if you actually channeled it right, so it wasn't taking up food eating space, it would be okay. So we're setting the tone with that and seeing how it works. We're going to put some solar panels on the bus as well. We've already got lithium batteries in it, a bank of 6 of them.
Wow.
To run things like, we were given a jukebox by Wurlitzer.
Yeah, I saw it in there.
Most of the stuff we've gotten has been given to us by big companies. The jukebox was the last one Wurlitzer made, and a guy named Wolfgang Hellmeyer was responsible for that. After I spoke to him when we first got the bus, I said, there's a space for it, and he said, oh, no, that wouldn't work. And finally, he chased it down and said, listen, we're going out of business. We're declaring bankruptcy. I have in front of me the last princess that we're going to make. It's the name of the jukebox. He said, do you want it? Yeah, send it over.
Absolutely.
So we've installed it. And it's all about having fun being kind, because what we find is that people who are volunteering for things. They'll often come back and they'll feel like they've done something good, but it's been a bit of a slog, and they've been watching the clock for the last 3 hours. And, it's been one of those things where, okay, I've done something good. They can go back and tell the family and friends, parents, kids, whatever, I put in a good day today. I volunteered. But with us, people want to know when the next one is, and they don't want to go home when we tell them to go home because it's so much fun. And we've got lots of confetti, lots of balloons, lots of nice food to eat. We make sure that when we get something sponsored, that we look after the people that are actually the machinery, the ones that are the volunteers that are going to make it work. We make sure they eat well, they're treated well. We provide them all with outfits like the outfit you described me wearing there. The reason my hat is red is because I hold the insurance papers and bits and pieces like that. So if someone comes in and needs to check on whether we're insured or whether we've got this or that, they find the guy in the red hat.
Got it. So
that's why we found, because we realized at one point that I was wearing the same colored hat, and you just point, it's the guy with the hard hat. Yeah. And there's several hundred people in that direction. So we had to distinguish it in some way. But it's quite funny. People steal it. 3 of them have been stolen so far. I put the hat down for a few minutes, and the next thing I know, it's gone. So somewhere, someone now listening to this is, they're on to us. We better not take another hat.
Yeah. They're feeling guilty for stealing hats from the kindness offensive.
Well, the thing is, I will relieve that guilt and say they can have it. They had the nerve to take it. They can have it as
good for them. Just do something kind while they're wearing it, right?
Yeah, I've got a few more. Well, no, we don't make stipulations like that. We hope people will just be kind, but we don't make it a rule, and we don't make it it's not something we trade. And when we give something to someone, we don't say, pay it forward, do it for someone else. Mm-hmm. We say, basically, here it is, you deal with it. This great. Is whatever it is, if it's chocolates, if it's a new bicycle, if it's an electric guitar, if it's 35 tons of food for soup kitchens, whatever it is, we just say, here you go, this is what you needed, you've got it, this is what you wanted, have fun with it. And we think it's stronger that way. There's more in it that way, to not have a bottom line, because every time you hit the street and someone comes up with some good idea, and they come up with something that looks like it's going to be a nice, sensible thing to have happening, and there's a bottom line to it where they want you to put some money in their can, or they want you to come and join their club.
Right.
Or, they want it, that you're in their organization wants to be supported in some way.
Some strings attached.
And it spoils it for me. I think I've been having a nice conversation, talking about something good, talking about positive things, and now you want me to join your club. If your club's that good, get the backing from a higher level and don't bother me.
That's a great point. All right, man. Well, Robert Williams, here are the only strings attached to this conversation, and they're not really strings. You have to answer 5 questions because everybody on the interview does.
I got to say this, though. I refused to prepare for this, so I have
Even
no
better.
idea what you're gonna throw at me.
This is great.
It didn't seem like the right thing to do to prepare for it. So what you get is what you get.
I love it. That's I've got a strong group of our guests who've done that. Some love to prepare, some don't, and I think it's fun. Let's go for it. So question 1 that we ask everybody that we interview is, what is your favorite quote or favorite statement, belief about hope? However you want to put hope in parentheses or a quote, how would you do that? What is hope to you?
Well, it's hope to me. Hope's a bit weak to me. Hope is like what you have when you blow out candles at your birthday and you make a wish.
Yeah.
Hope's got to be coupled with something. Hope's got to be coupled with positive ideas. I think what gave me hope as I was growing up is hearing John Lennon say, give peace a chance. And just the idea of giving something positive the opportunity to grow, that it's there, that it could grow. Now, that's hope. He planted a seed and said, I would like to see that grow. He planted acorns in various countries all around the world and said, would like to see that grow. And a lot of those trees are growing up today and are quite big. And for me, it's like hope on its own doesn't stand up very well because it's easy to hope. I can hope all kinds of things.
Sure.
I can hope that someone's going to hand me £1 million today. It doesn't actually make any difference unless it's linked up with an actual plan to put it into operation. You've got to have action with hope in order for it to be real. That's just, you're asking me, that's my view.
I think that's great. I really do. I totally agree with you. There has to be something real that you're hoping to accomplish or hoping will happen. It can't just be I really hope unicorns are real. I mean, they might be. I really do hope they're real, but if they're not, I shouldn't put everything that I've got into that hope because I need to have some substance behind it.
Well, I think you as an individual have the power to make your own dreams come true. And hoping is dreaming. and making them come true is the action.
Yeah.
And if a dream is worth putting the effort into it to make it come true, I mean, we do a lot of work that people don't see when we're putting together these events. There's a lot of stuff that, I mean, we've been steadily at this now since the middle of summer, gathering toys from all around the world. We've got Czechoslovakian toys this year that have come, all made out of wood. We've had people actually carving these toys for kids in Britain. And finding, the locations and then decorating the locations and working on getting connections so people will cover it. The publicity is important to us because it lets people know what we do. Yeah. And another big company will come along and say, hey, we'd like to do that as well. And we rely on that. So, but it means like this morning, I've had to sit there on the phone right when business started, calling one group after another, one publicity media person after another, explaining what happens, in order to get that coverage.
Right.
So you actually have to actually do something. I think that it's a mistake to think that hoping on its own is going to make any difference.
I love it. So question 2, who in your life has given you that kind of hope with that kind of action? Who's been an influence in your life that way?
Everybody. All the people that actually do nice things. Because if we were standing on our own and saying, okay, we need toys for children at Christmas, and there wasn't a big company with an executive who's a human being and a very caring human being ready to write a check, then nothing would happen. And when we call it phone whispering, we start making phone calls to people and we see who we can get involved and be enthusiastic about what we're enthusiastic about. And then we say, but look, there's all these kids that haven't got toys for Christmas. Wouldn't it be nice if we could wake up Christmas morning and know that at least we took care of a chunk of them and we made sure that they had something really nice for Christmas? And I have that hope in people or that faith in people when I call them that someone is going to come through. And I don't know who that is specifically. So there's no one in particular that takes that position as far as I can see. It's the whole of mankind has an awful lot of kindness within it and a really good heart that you can call on. And, sometimes you have to call a few times. Sometimes you just have to make one call.
I love hearing that. That's a good answer. It really is all of us doing this together. Okay, question 3. Take us back to a time in your life. This is about you when you've needed that kind of hope with that kind of action that you're describing to pull you through something tough. I mean, we're all real people. Has it all been peaches and cream for you and you've always had a big crowd behind you, or has it been tough for you in some point in your life?
It's been tough at times. I mean, I remember on one occasion that one of my dreams was to actually come to England. The Beatles and the Rolling Stones and all of that had quite an effect on us in Canada, where I'm from.
Sure.
People would be asking that question. I know, where's he from? What part of the States is he from? I'm from that big bit at the top. The thing is, someone came along at that point and bought me a ticket to come to England and really made a difference in my life. And I don't know where I would be now if that person hadn't done that. But he said he had this thought in his head that he couldn't get out. Would I like to come to England? And I said, well, I've got 2 friends with me and we're traveling to Vancouver. And he said, well, they can come as well. I've got a charter flight ticket that's not costing that much. And that changed my life because I fell in love with this country. I love the people here. I love the architecture. I love the art. I love the music. And it made a real difference. So it's, his name is Jim Nagel, if he's listening in. And, good guy.
That's
good
fantastic.
guy, made a real difference. But then I have to say as well that there are lots and lots of people that have made huge differences to me because of their kindness. And they've taught me that there's something more valuable than money in this world. And that is your ability to be kind.
That's so true. That's a great story. Jim Nagel. Is he still
Jim
around?
Nagel, indeed, yeah. Yeah, he is. I spoke to him a couple of months ago.
Man.
Funny enough, ran into him again sort of thing. Well, someone mentioned that he'd been at a party they were at. And I was telling the story about how I ended up being given this ticket by him. And I mentioned his name, and he said, I think I know who that is.
Wow.
And he's living in Glastonbury.
That's so cool. What a great guy.
It is, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, all right. Question 4 then. How are you sharing hope today? You've already talked quite a bit about the Kindness Offensive, which if anybody hasn't seen it, you need to jump online. The Kindness Offensive, I think it's .com, right?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really fun. You get this Uncle Sam looking dude pointing back at you.
Well, the idea there was to take something that was normally rotten and make it into something really good.
I could tell. Yeah, you've turned a war poster into something hopeful and fun, and it's hilarious, and it makes you excited all at the same time. It's really great. That's
what we were intending to do. That's to show that, there's actually hope for everyone. If Uncle Sam can party up and put on some glasses and say, join the Kindness Offensive, when he's been, pointing at people to go and kill each other all these years, then, then there's hope for all of us. So that's how we saw that.
All right.
But I didn't get your fourth question.
Yeah. Okay. So how are you sharing hope today? And take it down to real life, street level stuff when you're not doing kindness offensive, which is your life, I know. But when you're walking down the street or going out to check the mail, what are you doing to bring hope to somebody else?
I tend to keep an eye out to see, what's happening around me. And, I've discovered that, say you have a 10-pound note. 10-pound note can bring you just as much joy giving it away as it can you buying something. And, some days I'll buy something and other days I'll give it away. And when I give it away, I try and find someone that, imagine myself in their shoes and think, that person is really sitting there in front of that shop with a little cardboard sign saying, please help me. Now, that's a reality. A lot of other people passing by think he's a con man, but he's not. Believe me, if you've got money, you don't sit there in the cold with a cardboard sign in your hand saying, please help me. If you're a rich man, that doesn't happen. So this guy's out there for a reason. And I think to myself, how much would it take to get him up? What would it take? I ask him, what would it take? Would a $5 get you up and getting your lunch? Would a $10 do it?
Yeah.
Like that, I find it's a bit of a sport for me. It's a bit of fun. It's a way of communicating love and care to people that, they're all around you. You've got opportunities every chance you get to see people all around you that they could use a smile, they could use a conversation. Sometimes it's money, but I don't know. I think that if people don't look out for the good things that they can do in life, then they're actually missing out on one of the best bits. I'm not saying in a sanctimonious sort of way or anything like that. I mean, I'm a very greedy person when it comes down to it because I realize the joy I'll get out of that will keep me going all day. I'll see that person smile and I'll realize, whatever it is they do with it, not telling them what to do with it, whether they go get a meal or whether they buy themselves a beer, whatever it is, they needed it at that moment. They were down at that moment. And yet, we're all equal in the fact that we're human beings, but some of us are down on our luck at times. And I try and look out for that. I try and see, and that's how we got involved with the kindness offensive. We went out on Hampstead Heath and asked people, what can we do for you? And realized that we can make phone calls and actually get people to supply stuff. And there was one guy who wanted a party for an 11-year-old daughter and 11 kids. We started making calls, and we ended up calling the Moscow State Circus for tickets.
Awesome.
Well, the guy at the other end said, well, that's not good enough. And we said, well, what do you mean it's not good enough? And he said, well, look, he says, I'll tell you what. He said, this is going to be this little girl's best birthday party ever. We're going to turn the circus over to you, and we're going to let the kids train with the performers in the morning.
Oh, my goodness.
And then they can come and have a special performance in the box seats of the circus in the afternoon.
Whoa.
So we looked at this and thought, well, this is pretty good, but there was an hour in between. So we went down to the local skating rink, and we explained to them, listen, the little kids are having a party. The circus has been handed over to them. They're going to be training in the morning. Do you think they could come ice skating for an hour in between? And they said, oh, yeah, sure. And they gave us all free tickets for the kids to go ice skating.
Oh, my goodness.
I guarantee you that that's a birthday that girl will never forget.
Yeah, no kidding.
And the father was so happy. And we looked around at ourselves and thought, wow, we can do this. We've got nothing, none of us are lottery winners. None of us have got rich families, no rich connections, no rich friends come around and write checks for us. And yet we were able to make her day in a way that possibly no one else could have. So we realized, that we're capable of doing some fantastic things here. Wow,
that's really cool. Okay, question 5. What do I do? How do you teach me to share hope or grow in hope? Right after we hang up the phone. So I'm going to walk away from here. I got the rest of my Thursday in front of me. What are the ABCs, the simple 1, 2, 3 steps that a new person learning to be kind, share hope, take some action should do?
I've already done it. You're going to go out and do nice things. I've already done it.
That simple. Just simply go out and look for an opportunity to do something.
Yeah, I've already done it. I've been telling you, and you're going to do it. And the next chance you see, you're going to take it, and you're going to feel happy about it. And so is everyone else is listening. I've already done it. It doesn't take any more than just planting the thought in the mind that it is possible to do something good that can be genuinely helpful and joyful. And once you've done it, folks, you'll be addicted to it.
Did you rob a bank?
Not this morning. We're on Camden Road here, and we've got a free bookshop. We've got a shop where all the books are free.
Yeah.
Used to be a pub, and one of the disadvantages is it's on a main road, but we get used to the sound, so you're hearing all the sirens and stuff.
Sounds like they're after you. No, I hear you. You're saying, I mean, you really are. You're laying it out the whole time I've been talking. Just simply go and do it. Just jump in there and have some fun and make it exciting and smile about it.
Don't miss the opportunity. A lot of people miss opportunities and they regret it later. You never regret doing something good.
Mm-hmm.
Try it out and see. You won't regret doing something good. And even if what you've done that's good is misunderstood and your intention was good, you'll still feel good about it. But if you miss the opportunity, where is that person now? They're gone.
Mm-hmm.
What part of the world are they in? You can't find them. At that moment, you could have reached out. You could have smiled. You could have made them happy. You could have paid a little bit of attention to what they're doing and what's important to them. You don't need to have money to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of people walking around in the streets that have all got frowns on their faces. I remember one year, these college students came up to me and they gave me £1. And I said, what's that for? And they said, well, we said we would give it to the first person we found smiling, and we've been standing out here for 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
It turned out that I must have been smiling. I was actually joking around with someone in the window. They were cleaning the window from the inside.
Uh-huh.
And I was following their hand from the outside and laughing with them. As they were trying to clean the window, I was trying to follow their hand just joking around.
Yeah.
And these guys gave me £1 for smiling. I mean, I think in this world there are so many opportunities. It's a shame to miss the chance to do something nice. And don't think you're going to end up broke doing it. Don't think you have to give away, the shoes off your feet. Sometimes it's just a matter of shaking hands with someone, smiling, asking them, how are you today? Are you okay? Spending a few minutes with the humankind that we're surrounded with and showing people that you care just in a simple action can make a huge, huge difference. You don't know what they're going through. Some people are feeling really discouraged, and the next thing you know, they feel happy again. Somebody stopped and said, how are you doing? They were feeling like, hey, the world's passing me by and nobody particularly cares about me anymore. What have I got in this world? And then you come along and say, hey, how are you doing today? And it makes all the difference in the world. Don't ever underestimate what you can do with just a few kind words. It's a shame to miss it. It's like you're missing a really big prize in life if you just walk by and you don't bother.
I love this. You're fantastic. Love this. This is so encouraging and motivating. It really is. It's that hope with action you're talking about. Okay, ma'am, you have answered the 5 questions. The only other question I have is there's so many things you've been doing, small and big. I see 12,000 toys and gifts to children in hospital. That's what David Cameron was giving you an award for. I mean, you've broken some world records on kind acts. It's kind of fun. You have something just huge and audacious out there that you guys are already planning and saying, if we could pull this one off, that'd be a really huge stunt. You got any of those?
Oh, yeah. We've got something in the works at the moment that'll blow your socks off, but we've got a rule, and that is too many people talk about things and not enough people do them.
Yeah.
So we're going to do it and show you, but keep an eye out and have a look at the stuff that we've done so far. If you don't believe we're capable of doing more before now, have a look and see, and you'll see all the stuff. I'm saying this to your audience now.
Yeah, it's there.
Have a look, because you've obviously had a look and you've seen the stuff, and that's why you've called me and wanted to do this interview. But no, we do have something really fantastic in the works. In fact, several things, and they're really going to be shakers. But we'll let you know when they're ready.
Okay.
And when they're ready, then you will see. But we're not stopping by any stretch of the imagination. We've only just got started.
I love it. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, everybody can find you at thekindnessoffensive.com. Also, you're on Flickr, YouTube, I'm sure many other social media channels. And I guess all those are Kindness Offensive as well. Is that the best way to search it out?
The ones you've just mentioned are good. We've retired our Twitter account and our Facebook accounts. It's there. You can look and see the history of it.
Sure.
We realized that it was taking up a lot of time. Plus, the philosophy of it goes against the grain a little bit. Like on Facebook, for instance, you can be having a conversation with someone, you get into a debate about something, and then when you start winning the debate, they delete your posts. And it's like, we say to delete is to admit defeat. If that what you would do if I was talking to you in person, in my living room, would you just walk away and consider me non-existent? No. They try and wipe it out. So we decided we weren't going to spend our time playing a game like that. And, we were actually going to just carry on doing what we do. But there's always YouTube videos. We video everything we do. A lot of times it's to say thank you to people that have helped us, people in big companies, people in small groups, volunteers. So you can get a really good flavor of the history of the Kindness Offensive by looking on our YouTube channel. I recommend that. If you haven't got time to watch all those videos, which will take you several days, go to the Flickr site. And on the Flickr site, you can choose through various things, and you can see events, you can see the excitement there. And what we hope is that you go to our website and you put your name down on the mailing list. And then if we're doing something near you and you feel like joining us, no obligation, but you will have fun. Come on down and help us out. Help us wrap some presents. Help us deliver some food. Help us make some people happy.
Awesome. I'll be hopefully in London next summer for a few days, and I'm going to seek you guys out and see if y'all are planning anything right then, because I would love to come join one of the parties. Looks like fun.
That would be great to see you. It really would.
All right. Sir, Robert Williams, thank you for your time. It's been a privilege. I really do appreciate you spending a few times with us to help spread the word.
It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.
Okay. Talk to you soon, man. Bye-bye.
All right, then. Bye-bye.
It is Robert Williams from London, England, The Kindness Offensive. You've got to check out their website, thekindnessoffensive.com. There are some hilarious pictures. I'm looking at it right now. It looks like people doing huge political protest, but they're throwing confetti, and they have balloons, and they have awesome hats and glasses, and they're having a ton of fun. But they're also doing an amazing amount of good. They're sharing hope with so many people who wouldn't have hope in that area of their life if it wasn't for these people. And it's volunteers. It's really, really cool. So check them out, thekindnessoffensive.com. You can also hit our website, isharehope.com, and we'll have a link to all the things we discussed today with Robert and his social media accounts, websites, pictures, videos, all that stuff. We'll put it all there for you to make it easy. Love to see you there. Jump in the conversation as well, Chris Williams HQ, on any social media platform pretty much, and we'll be there talking to the guests like Robert, as well as you, hearing ideas, what you're doing, what's going on, how are you sharing kindness, how are you sharing hope. I'd love to hear if someone has done something special for you in the past few weeks, please put it on there. Or if you've just really gone out of your way to do something special from somebody else, let me know. I really want to see what's going on because I love those ideas and I love making sure other people hear them and we share them out there. All right? Thanks. Enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you have so much fun. I know there's a lot going on. I know it's distracting in life and there's things that catch our attention that don't necessarily do anything productive. So get out there, think about somebody else, and figure out a great way to share some hope and some kindness. All right. See you later. Thanks. Bye.
You've just listened to I Share Hope. If you're ready to make a change, head to our website at isharehope.com and claim your free copy of the top 10 actions of hope from world leaders to use hope in your own life. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.